Louise Upston.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. I'm pleased to speak in the first reading of the Local Government Borrowing Bill, and as we've heard from the Minister and subsequent speakers, the intent of this is to allow for more cost-effective borrowing by local authorities. And I just want to stress that word again, cost-effective borrowing. I've had a look at some of the projections around what the expectation is for the growth in local authority debt, and according to a Treasury estimate, it's forecast to jump by 2/3 in the next 5 years, reaching as much as $10 billion. So, Mr Speaker, anything we can do as a government to look at how this borrowing by local authorities to invest in capital projects and key infrastructure, to find ways that we can do this in a more cost-effective way is important, and that's why this piece of legislation is so important. Anything that is going to be able to save the costs of ratepayers and to remove some of that pressure is important. And it's great to see that this is another initiative that came out of the national-led Government Jobs Summit, because those were discussions where a whole raft of ideas were bandied about, and this is one of the better ones in terms of being able to look at how, as a small country of what I think we're 4.4 million as of this week, how we can more effectively work together in a way that we can reduce some of our costs. And I thought, Mr Speaker, in terms of having a look at this, I looked at the impact of borrowing on the 3 district councils in the Taupo electorate. Because one of the concerns that constituents come and see me about, particularly our older citizens, is the pressure on increasing rates when they have fixed incomes. And so I've had a look at the 3 different councils in my electorate and just what their interest costs are, and also what their effective interest rates are. And one of the effective rates is 3.5% and another one is 6.98%. So there's quite a variance even amongst 3 councils. And if they were able to, consolidate and get some economies in terms of this borrowing from this bond bank, I think we would be able to see a lower rate across the board. And if I look at one of the councils in particular, they've got significant capital requirements with water and wastewater treatment plant upgrades in the next few years, which in effect means on a rateable property, the interest cost alone is $294 a year. Now, that is a significant cost for a ratepayer, and so I'm particularly pleased with this legislation and really focusing on a specific area where we can reduce the costs for ratepayers up and down the country with the creation of this New Zealand Local Government Funding Agency that will issue debt on behalf of the local councils up and down New Zealand. So, Mr Speaker, that's all I'm going to say, but just to say on behalf of the constituents in Taupo, I know that they will be very pleased at the introduction of this bill under Minister Hyde's name, because it will be, in effect, helping to assist the burden of their local rates.